House GOP passed a resolution decrying Vice President Kamala Harris as border czar, where 6 Democrats joined all Republicans in backing the bill.
The yeas are 220, the nays are 196. The resolution is adopted. Without objection, a motion to reconsider is laid upon the table.
Those Democrats include Representatives Jared Golden, Mary Gluesenkamp-Harris, Yadira Caravillo, Don Davis, Henry Cuellar, and Mary Peltola.
We're going to have to counter the misinformation. You already hear folks talking about the border czar. She wasn't the border czar.
President Biden tapped Kamala Harris, Vice President Kamala Harris, to be the border czar.
Now, she wasn't the border czar. That's what Republicans labeled her.
They were very critical of Kamala Harris, especially in her role as border czar.
Vice President Kamala Harris's role in overseeing U.S. relations with Central America in 2021 quickly earned her the label of border czar, with Republicans and news outlets referring to her as such, but now media outlets such as CNN, ABC News, and MSNBC are backpedaling. The messaging about Harris's title and responsibilities changed as soon as she unofficially became the party's standard-bearer when President Joe Biden bowed out of the race. Weeks of intense scrutiny of the president shifted to painting Harris in a more favorable light, including revamping her image regarding her record on the border, arguably her highest-profile job. Officially, Harris, like Biden when he was vice president, was tasked with managing diplomatic relations with Central America in March 2021. But it came at a time when migrant border crossings surged, creating a humanitarian crisis. Many of those migrants crossing the border were coming from Guatemala, Honduras, and El Salvador, not Mexico. Biden said on March 24, 2021,
But the vice presidents agreed, among the multiple other things I've had her leading, and I appreciate it, agreed to lead our diplomatic effort and work with those nations to accept the returnees and enhance migration enforcement at their borders.
It was not until 3 months later that Harris visited both Guatemala and Mexico, making her address telling migrants not to come to the United States.
Do not come. Do not come.
Since then, more than 8 million illegal immigrants have made their way into the U.S. Republicans and even leading media outlet correspondents, including NBC News' Lester Holt, questioned Harris when she had planned to visit the border.
So this whole thing about the border, we've been to the border. We've been to the border.
You haven't been to the border.
And I haven't been to Europe. And I mean, I don't understand the point that you're making.
At the end of June, Harris made her way to the border city of El Paso, Texas, and many criticized her for not picking a city with more traffic. Border crossings have reached the lowest levels in the Biden administration in the past few weeks, following Biden's executive order that limits the number of asylum seekers allowed in based on a quota.